Good evening, everybody. Welcome to another edition of Entrepreneurship in Focus. I'm your host, Marlon Joseph, and I'm most excited to be here so that I can learn from the guests, so that we can learn from the guests that we have here in studio and learn more about his business and what he has to offer. I must use the opportunity to beckon to our Guyanese. So be careful on our roadways. I've been saying to people, it appears as though we have more accidents than crime. And every day when we look across our newspaper and social media, we're seeing reports of accidents coming left, right, and center. And it leaves much to be desired. Be careful when you're using the roadways. Practice defensive driving techniques. Drive to save lives, time, and money. And of course, try not to be late. Try not to drink and drive so that we can have a safer community, so that we can have a safer Guyana. Also use the opportunity to share kind message, share words of encouragement and hope and upliftment to people. There are people going through several different things, and of course giving them the hope, the light, that word of encouragement can also help them to have a smooth transition. Notwithstanding, we have a guest here in studio. His name is Mr. Winston Maynard, and he is the CEO of a legacy restaurant and catering service. I'd like to use the opportunity to welcome him to our program. Welcome.
Well, thank you for having me on your program, Mr. Joseph. I am excited to be here. I always appreciate having conversation with you. So I thank you for having me this evening on your program.
It's a pleasure to have you, and anything to do with food is one of our favorites. So all of the foodies, tag a friend, share the live stream, tell somebody that we're going to be talking about food and entrepreneurship, and we're going to hear from this young man's backstory. Pleasant good afternoon, Beverly. Good afternoon, Mr. Something joining from Suriname. I'm seeing Bianca Marshall. Beverly, I'm seeing Margaret joining, Leon. Somebody saying they're your high school classmate.
What was that?
So you see, it's an opportunity for you to connect with people from different countries, from different parts of the world, from people from all over Guyana. It's a great opportunity.
Yeah. So hi, high school classmate. I don't know who you are.
So tell us, what motivated you to go into entrepreneurship?
I must say, my desire to have a better life and my love for my craft.
Okay.
So I use that as my motivation to be an entrepreneur. Notwithstanding my love for my craft and my desire for a better life, I am also pleased to be associated with many of my colleagues who would have inspired and encouraged me to press on in this line of business and to actually become an entrepreneur.
Okay.
So, I want to say a big thank you to, there's so many, so many persons who would have encouraged me along this way, but one in particular would be my dear friend and colleague. She is living abroad at this moment. Her name is Sabrina Ramcharan. She was one of the key individuals that actually encouraged me to become an entrepreneur.
Okay.
Yeah.
So is this your first venture?
Well, I wouldn't say this is my first venture because many people from who know me in this line of work would know me from maybe University of Guyana campus, selling pastries, around the campus and providing that kind of eatables for late classes at UG and all the like. So I've been doing this for quite a few years now. Then moving around in my car and delivering products to people wherever the need may be. So it has been a while now, over 10 years, I must say.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So why food and catering business? Why not going to some other business venture or mechanic or something of the sort?
Well, like I said earlier, this line of business is my passion. Food and food service. It's my passion, and I love doing it. And I think that once you love doing something, you'll be motivated. You'll be self-motivated to actually continue. So that's the reason why I chose this kind of venture.
Awesome. So did you go through any catering classes, cooking classes to be able to prepare you for this point? Or
Go ahead.
was it just what you learned from home, looking at mommy cooking and granny cooking and passing down to the family?
Well, you're right. You're spot on. So, like I said, our motto is to savor the taste of family tradition. So it's actually family tradition, local Guyanese family tradition that has been passed down from generations and to me. And now I have the the onus is on me to carry it forward. So I'm doing the best I could. And the reason why we chose legacy is because we know that this is not the end, and somebody is going to take it up after me. So that's the reason why we chose that name.
Interesting. So there's a secret recipe being handed on from generation to generation.
Yeah, you can say that.
Awesome.
Certainly.
So do you mind giving us an example of some of the dishes you prepare?
Well, at Legacy, we basically specialize in local Creole cuisine, things like what Guyanese are accustomed to be Guyanese now, pine tart, cheese roll, the chicken patty is the Guyanese style. Things like cassava pone, uh, fudge. You can get sugar cake, Solara, and all of these things. Now, those are like for if you need a snack item, all right, and our local dishes, um, cook up. The mixed meat cook up. I know you love that one, Marlon, and we have the curries. We have the beef curry, the chicken curry. People really enjoy those. Usual fried rice and the likes.
And what about pepper pot? Sometimes people get a craving for pepper pot and don't want to wait until Christmas and
Well, certainly, Legacy is the place for you. Once you have, well, it's not Christmas and you have that craving for pepper pot, you come to Legacy and we can hook you up because we have pepper pot on a daily basis.
awesome. So what are some of the major challenges you guys would say you faced and how were you able to overcome them?
Well, some of the some challenges that are not unique to us, but some challenges are just a part of business. Um, Things like supply. Um, as we know in Guyana, the prices of things fluctuate quite a lot. Some of our key ingredients, sometimes you go to the market and you find that they're one price, and then when you go back the next day, it's a higher price. So that's one challenge that you face as a small business, having to source your supply from the local market. It's quite a major challenge to maintain that kind of balance in terms of revenue and profit. Yeah.
So how are you guys able to maneuver? Because maybe when you go to the shop, potato was $100 a pound, now is might be 200, 300 pounds. How was you able to overcome or to maneuver that and still maintain consistency with your price that you guys have?
Well, by staying lean and not being too extravagant in your spending, and as family tradition, you save for a rainy day. You don't go overboard with your spending. Is all in the process of becoming an entrepreneur. You have to make a lot of sacrifices. So yeah, so that's how we cope in a general sense. Yeah.
So have you guys considered having like your own kitchen garden or farm so that you can shoulder some of the price fluctuations within the market?
Well, definitely is something that we are considering to actually get back into, because before we started at this location, we used to have our own kitchen garden where we have fresh produce and so, but just because of the demands of running the location and starting up, it really takes away from the time that you will be able to spend to actually grow your own produce. So you find that it is more it's more it's easier to get from the market. Yeah.
Okay.
For now, but we're considering growing our own produce.
So how receptive are people currently to your restaurant and catering service?
Well, it's encouraging. It's very encouraging. Every day we get new customers and they are loving the products and they are actually giving us feedback. And we love it because, sometimes, several times you're there and a customer may come and they ask to talk to you for a minute and you wonder if they're in trouble, but they say, I really love this Marby, or I really love this pastry, or, I really enjoy the beef curry and stuff like that. So I think people, especially in the area and even people traveling from afar, they are very, very much receptive. And to that, I must say that I have never gotten a bad review. I mean, not to my hearing. I've never gotten a bad review on any of our products so far, and for me, we've been there for a year now. The end of September will make it a year.
Okay.
I'd say the 5th of October, complete 1 year since we have been in operation at this location, and it's on ex-Durban Street, between Loiza Row and Hardina Streets, just between Banks DIH, the Water Place, and the First Assembly of God Church on the same side.
Nice.
Yeah.
And do you guys have problems finding good people to work with?
Well, I think there's a problem that is not unique to us. It's a general thing, especially in this kind of business, this line of business, and especially in this phase of a business, the startup phase, where it's kind of a lot of moving parts, and the hours are very flexible in terms of work. So it is a challenge, but it's a challenge that we are dealing with quite well at the moment. In terms of managing the staff that we have, in a ways that, we don't have to feel the effect of losing staff, and then you have to go looking for a new staff, every other day or so. So we're managing quite well in terms of that.
Yeah, but help me understand specifically to you. Is there a challenge finding quality staff or finding staff in general?
It is. I would say the first one, finding quality staff. It is a challenge. It is a challenge.
Okay, I was just trying to understand because while we continue to hear about labor shortage, there's still unemployment, and there are opportunities for persons to be employed and to earn, or to even pick up entrepreneurship. But when we look at some of the attitude of our workers coming today, it leaves much to be desired. For instance, some of them want to come to work their own time.
Definitely.
When they come, they don't want to take in new information, how to do this way. They want to come with their own ways. They want to take coaching to be able to do things the way you want it done. And all kinds of challenges you would find happening.
Yes, I think you are hitting the hammer and the nail there in certain aspect. And I gotta be honest. I mean, I think sometimes we don't want to make certain comments in the public, but I think we have a far way to go in terms of finding having a qualified, or let's say competent workforce, or people that a pool that you can choose from. I think that needs to be developed. So that entrepreneurs like me and others, many others, even like yourself, can have a larger pool of resources to choose from. So that we can, really have development in terms of, business and enterprise.
But one of the things for me, when looking at employees, some of them may very well not be qualified or come with the skills. But as long as you're willing to learn, that willingness should be so strong that it pushes them forward, so that they come and they bring a level of dedication and they're able to get the job done based on the job learning.
Certainly. But notwithstanding that, also we need to have the expertise and the resources available for training. Because yes, you might say on the job training, but training requires resources, but that's not something that we should be talking about much, because we know we are resource rich country. So hopefully very soon those resources are going to meet us, so that we can really move speedily ahead with development.
But one of the things I've been advocating for is for persons to actually become better versions of themselves. And I've also been pushing for persons who, whatever they're doing, to do it to the best of their ability. Life is short, and there's several people who are just doing things just for doing sake. And when you look at it, you twist and turn, they have to get it done.
Yeah.
And maybe they're doing it just to make money or whatever it is. Why not use the opportunity to become the best that you can be? If you're going to be a cook, you're going to be a cleaner, you're going to be an employee. Why not use the opportunity to be the best that you can be? At the end of the day, you will feel good about yourself, and you will feel motivated to continue. And at the end, when you to look back, you would know that you would have given it your all. And I was once a delinquent until I was on the other end of the table. Then it's when I understand what my employer meant when they keep talking about coming to work late and writing me all these letters. Till now, I have several of those letters home, and we used to delight in them because when you get 3 letters for the year, and this is with public service.
Okay.
As soon as the year ends, you start to feel fresh.
A new page.
A new page. A new opportunity for you to come late. But it was until I was on the other end of that, I was able to see and understand from an employer's perspective and to see how they see things quite differently. And lots of times we do things and we don't think about the consequences or how it is viewed. Why not be the best that you can be and succeed? And that is what I also say to entrepreneurs. You are tasked with the opportunity of blessing people's taste bud. Do it to the best of your ability. And I encourage persons to form a relationship rather than just putting a sale. Because when that sale ends, what happens? Your business ends.
No.
When you establish a good working relationship with your customers, they're going to come again and they're going to bring people when they're coming.
Absolutely. Absolutely. But I've listened to what you said about motivation and how you get it. Your perspective and is very much perspective wise. Whether you are an employee or an employer, when you're an employee, you think different to when you are an employer. And so moving from that realm of being an employee to being an employer or an entrepreneur, you get to see how differently your boss may have seen your delinquent behaviors, right? And you kind of want to act shy about some of the things that you did. You don't feel so good about them, right? So, but with working with people, what I find is that you have to find other ways to motivate people to work to help you to achieve your goals, right? And with that, what I mean is you have to always try to find win-win approaches, right? Things that will benefit the employee and will also benefit you. So in every task that you may delegate or whatever the case might be, there need to be some kind of, I think the communication, the way in which you give out the instructions as an employee is very much indicative of the kind of responses you'll get. Not more so the task itself, but the way in which you give the instructions. So
while I agree with you, there's some employees, no matter how much you motivate, they move in. Even if you come and say please, they move in.
Maybe there is something deep within that is you're not appealing to for them, but it's true. I agree with you also.
My situation, my solution to that, And it might sound harsh, but if people genuinely don't want to work or don't want to be in a place, then they should move from it. And when we look at several of these organizations and the people that they place at the forefront, and you wonder why is it this organization is receiving so much bad name. And there are many people who are always complaining about the kind of service or the quality of service offered by those employees. The people that are there should move, because if you're in a position that you are to serve the public or to interact with the people, and that you're lacking at and you can't do it effectively, and you're there causing trouble, move. Because what you may very well find, some of them are functional but not fulfilled, and some of them you'd find that they're square pegs in round holes. Some of them are just doing it for the money, and there's where you will find lots of problems happening. And if we look within the public service, that's a typical example. Several organizations, you find the frontline people, they're scratchy. You'd wonder if you did the person something. My colleague went to a place. I was in the car when she went to a place on the park, and she went to purchase some egg ball and stuff. And the person who was there was interacting with an elderly woman, and the elderly woman was purchasing 2 egg balls, and she wanted it in a box. And apparently, like, it was the worst decision she made to ask for the 2 egg ball in 2 separate boxes. The person that was in there, the person was angry. The person said, I'm doing you a favor, I don't have to do this. And she's moving and things falling down to the other person was in there asking, what is going on? Come, don't hit me. And so the person's carrying on, and the person wants a little salt, they want a little pepper, and they want a glass of juice. Still, no, she didn't hear the person want juice because of how she was performing.
Well, one of the things at Legacy that we try to uphold, Marlon, is the customer service and, pleasing the customer. Making the customer feel welcome, making the customer feel happy, and it doesn't take a lot. Sometimes it's just the way you say things. I mean, even in that same scenario with the egg ball and the woman, it's just the way, in the manner in which you would respond to a person that would cause them to feel, disappointed or angry or pleased or understanding, right? So with that, I think we need to try to understand where people are coming from, because sometimes a person might come to you with this idea that they want this egg ball in a box, but the way you might be able to put it over to them, right, might convince them that, you know what, it's better to have it in this rather than in the box. So yeah.
Good said. Customer service goes a long way. And the people that are particularly at the front line, they need to be able to get it right. And if you're going to be in a position that entails you interacting with the public or stuff, then you'd want to get it right and ensure that you're doing your best. And again, every job that you're doing, every position that you're in, you would want to use the opportunity to do your best and to make it count. Many times we find persons that are lacking and people carrying all kinds of unnecessary emotions within the environment. And my response to that is simple. If there's no enemy within, the enemy outside can do us no harm. See, if you were to say to me, Marlon, you're big, you're black, and you're ugly, why should I get upset? It therefore means that there are things within me that I have not yet worked out that is causing me to feel uneasy.
You're going really deep there now.
So if I am at peace and in comfort with myself, you can't influence me or program me. So the next part of that is who's pushing your buttons? Why are they pushing your buttons? And why do you have those buttons in the first place? So if I know that, for instance, every time I move this bottle from here and put it here, Winston's get upset, I'm going to deliberately do it. And every time I do it, Winston is going to get upset and he's going to lash out. Why are you getting upset? Why are you attaching all of these emotions and feelings and getting worked up? Really and truly, it is what it is. I moved the bottle from there to there. What next? and you deal with it and you move on rather than attaching all of these feelings and emotions. And a lot of times people are attaching feelings and emotions within the respective organizations, and there's where the problem comes. Half of the time when a customer comes and they're expressing their frustration and they try to get personal, it is not about us. The customer is upset at this situation, and when we try to focus on the situation and get personal or stuff, we'd be amazed of how we handle the interaction. The customer is satisfied because we were able to resolve their issue, and we go at the end of the day.
Well, I thank you for that, Marlon, because that's one thing I noticed. If you want to be successful as an entrepreneur, you have to learn to not take things personal. And I've heard you on programs before mention about how many times you were told no before you actually got a yes, right? And you know, to hear no, as you would know, is actually quite devastating to an individual who has not really understand or internalize the fact that they shouldn't take certain things personal, or anything for that matter of fact. You just need, especially when you're dealing with people, right? That is their interpretation, right? And that's what they are trying to put forward or try to put on you, right? But you have to know what type of person you are deep within yourself. You need to understand yourself. So entrepreneurship, to be successful at it, you really need to understand yourself, and you really need to not take things personal.
Beautifully said. And I guess you're tapping into my teaching side now. When you're going into entrepreneurship, you don't just jump. There are several components or things that you must be able to evaluate and to have it clear at the beginning, at the onset. Who am I? Where am I? What is my purpose here? And then we go a bit further. What are my strengths and what are my weaknesses? When we understand our strengths and we understand our weaknesses, it can be able to provide some kind of guidance or help us understand the path we're going down for entrepreneurship. If I know that this area is one of my weaknesses, people, working with people and interacting with people, I'm not a morning person, I would shy away from that until I'm able to develop skills or the competencies that can be able to help me to interact with people. When I understand my weakness, I know my limitations, I'm able to work on them so that I can convert them into strengths, and I can expand my strengths and I can go forward boldly. Now, people going into entrepreneurship, they don't understand what are some of their blind spots, what are some of the challenges or baggages they themselves feel or face, and they go to business, and when these things come, they take us by storm. Now, for a person who's now into entrepreneurship, it might, many times you have your plans well crafted in your mind, sometimes even on paper. Yes, I'm going to start a business, and I am well known, all of these people are going to support me, my family and friends are going to support me. It sounds good.
On paper.
But when you start and you're promoting your business, your friends are judging you, your family, they may even come and buy and support you. But when they want discount, when they want free thing, they know where to find you. But all the time they come in and you get a no. Ask yourself, are you the first person to get a no? There are several persons who are going to continue to have no's far beyond you, and that's just the beginning. That's just a stepping stone.
Correct.
And as you continue to progress, some of the major opportunities, the one thing that you need to succeed, you're pleading with somebody to assist you, to give it to you, it's right within their reach, and they can tell you no. You don't feel frustrated. But that no is actually the opportunity to allow you to work harder, to examine different perspectives, to go wrong and come wrong and be able to make it work.
Well, Marlon, now you are causing me to go a little back to the beginning of this whole venture. And what I must say, one of the real tests for an entrepreneur, especially in this country, capital. And that was one of, if you asked earlier about some of our challenges, capital is a big challenge for, small entrepreneurs or people who just want come out of the public service and go into entrepreneurship, you find that capital is something really big. So we approach several financial institutions for funding and stuff like that, and we got a lot of no's.
Mm-hmm.
But you mentioned there that when you get these no's, it is how you, I guess what you mean is like how you deal with them.
Exactly.
Right? That can make you or break you, right? And for any entrepreneur, I can share now that those no's really made us stronger, made us more efficient and more effective, because you had to dig deep inside because you want to do something, and you think that here is where you'll get the funding from, and you don't get the funding from there, and now you find that you have nowhere else to look but within.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So I would tell people this, right? Anything is a business, okay? Let's say you are a teacher and you're starting out. What is a business for you? Teaching.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? You get one student and you teach that student, and that student pays you. That's a business. You created an income there. Money comes in.
Mm-hmm.
So you're looking within yourself to see how you can raise this capital. Okay, so, and from that one student, you can go to 2-3 students until you have a full class. And then some people have taken it so far, as you can see, private tutoring and lessons have become a big business right now in Guyana. So, and if you look at these people who would have come a far way to have successful lessons and even schools. I know some of my colleagues, they started their own private school coming right from, just going to college or not, some of them not even complete college.
Mm-hmm.
So you dig within yourself to raise that capital, because we all have great potential within us.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes we are afraid to tap into that potential, and that's where we find that entrepreneurship, we try to say, is not for us, but it is for people who can dig deep into themselves and find the means
Mm-hmm.
to support their dreams.
I think you're raising a fan. That's because I'm sitting here and I'm trying not to jump up with excitement.
Yeah.
But what you shared is what I've been saying to people. Everything that we need to succeed is already within us.
Yeah.
And when I listen to the words of Miriam Williamson, who posited, our deepest fear is not that we are inadequate. Our deepest fear is that we are powerful beyond measure. That was all I needed. We are powerful beyond measure.
It's true.
It is our light, not our darkness, that frightens us the most. And one of the things I fear is going home too early, not being able to realize my full potential and to do all of the things that I can do and to do it to the best of my ability. Because I believe that there's still untapped skills and gifts and dreams that I have that I want to pursue that I have not yet conceptualized or given thought.
Exactly.
So I want to bring it to life. So when we think about everything we have already within us, it just needs to be awakened or tap into. I get excited.
Yeah.
But if we to back up a bit on what you would have shared about capital and stuff, I would just like to make this clear for the person that is viewing. A lot of times I interact with entrepreneurs and they would say the challenge is capital, access to finance and all of these things. And really and truly, when I interacted with them and I did some digging, money is actually coming to the business.
Yeah.
Money is flowing.
Yeah.
But there was no clear system to be able to document your finances, document your spendings, your expenses. And there was no clear distinction between your personal finance and your business finance. So, as you start up, as you're entrepreneurs, And we operating in that manner. When we want salt, we buy the salt from the business money. When we want this, we buy it from the business money. So there was no discipline where finance is concerned. And many of us, even some big people, when it comes to finance and talking about money, some people get shy. And some people believe as though we ought to at least born with knowing how to manage money. No, we have to be taught how to deal with money, how to interact with finance. So having financial discipline is something that's very important and very relevant, particularly as we are entering into entrepreneurship. And if we want to step out of entrepreneurship, think about how many persons would have worked their entire life within the organization, and when it comes to retirement time, they have no savings, no nothing put up to weather the storm. How are they going to succeed? When you retire at 55, you have to wait till 65 to be able to get pension. So what are you doing between 55 and 65? Where are you going to get money from if you don't save, if you don't work, if you don't put up your money diligently? Now you got to go and do some security work or do something else. But it's a different story.
That's a whole different story. But picking up from where we left off in terms of digging deep without in yourself, you picked up on what I said. And you went ahead to say separating your personal money from your business money. Mm-hmm. Like I said, you asked me how we manage. I said we have to stay lean. There is family life and there is business. Mm-hmm. And sometimes you have to make sacrifices. Mm-hmm. Your business, as you said, is generating money. But there is a luxury that you need in your home, or you think that, or you want in your home. All right? Mm-hmm. There is a luxury in your home that you want. It's not a necessity. And you confuse it. And you confuse this luxury item with need. And you go and you buy that luxury item and you put it in your home, and it doesn't bring an income for you, and your business suffer. I find that many of us get carried away managing that personal life with the business. And if you can master that as an entrepreneur, then it will take you far away in terms of developing or raising capital.
Mm-hmm. Discipline will come, and that's why it's important to have a vision and set aside different steps that you're going to do to achieve your vision, and work closely and work on it. Don't be sidetracked by secondary opportunities. For instance, when you get your first set of profits from your business, are you going to reinvest that into business and to be able to bring more business? Or you're going to take it and you're going to go to BM Suit and buy a car?
Well, that is dependent on your vision for your business.
True. But if you're going to invest in the car, and the car is going to be a liability more than an asset, then it can make sense. When you do investment, particularly right now, especially startups and young entrepreneurs, you'd want to invest in assets, things that brings money. Anything that didn't bring in money, try to shy away from the early stage from it. So in entrepreneurship, you'd want to try as much as possible to see where you can cut costs but still maintain quality.
Yeah. Even though that is important, and I agree with you on that, for me, as an entrepreneur, I'm always looking for opportunity where I can actually spend now and cash in later. The instant gratification thing is not so much big for me at this moment. Like you mentioned about when you get to 55 and you come off, what are you going to do between 55 and 65 or 55 and 60? I'm thinking about that now, right? I'm thinking about that now, and therefore I am looking for opportunities to invest in things that will actually, take care of me at that point in my life. So I look for things that I can bank on in sometime in the short term as well as in the long term.
Thanks for sharing. I'm also seeing
You're
the
welcome.
comments coming in by Neil Baldio, Theo Alain, Michelle Semple, Sandy Taylor, all of which supporting good customer service. They're saying that financial institutions would want a business plan. Managing cash flow is very important. And it's true. When you're able to establish or to create a bankable business, that works well in your favor. It works well to your advantage, and nothing can beat your documentation where you have proof of your transactions, proof of the income coming in, where you're spending money, and you can be able to use that to track your growth. One of the things I'm also teaching people, because they think it ends there, you've got to have a clear understanding of your total expenses for the month, and you've got to do the calculation to ensure that you have enough clients coming in to cover for your expenses for the month and be able to make a profit. And that can also be your motivation to get up and get going if you see that it is making sense.
Yeah.
Because many times we operate, and that would be linked back to what you were saying about the capital.
Yeah.
If we have clear documented systems guiding our operations, it would put us in the right path.
Correct. Correct. Yeah, so you find that you find out a lot, especially at this start of phase of your business, is that documentation is something that small businesses really need. We need that kind of support in terms of that, and we'll be really grateful if we can get support in that area.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And for your particular business, documentation is necessary. For instance,
Yeah.
Having an idea as to some of the greens you guys would use, your raw materials, having a price list so that you can know how much you're spending and stuff. You can be able to track fluctuation, know where to cut costs, and know where to push. And many business operate without knowing your numbers, and we end up in trouble.
I agree.
So having clear systems, standard operational procedures that governs operation can be able to help us significantly in business. Knowing our numbers, knowing our strengths and our weaknesses can also point us in the right direction, and having a clear direction of where we want to go. Of
Definitely.
course, I'd want to once again echo the sentiments that as entrepreneurs, we want to be in the relationship building business rather than just pushing a sale and then the sale comes and then the sale goes. But when you establish a relationship with people, they're going to come and they're going to come again because they feel valued, they feel appreciated.
Great.
A simple thing is asking people out with a day and stuff. Anything exciting happened recently, you'd be amazed of how forming conversations, interacting people work.
Thank you.
And it is also a good differentiator. For instance, there are other restaurants around,
Yeah.
and if you keep basing your promotion about being the cheapest restaurant, where people can come and get the food for maybe $1,000, 800, whatever it is. When a cheaper restaurant comes, what is that going to do to you?
It's gonna blow you away.
So there are other things that people come for, and there are other reasons people support you. And
Yeah,
I'm
thank
seeing
you.
Jeremiah James
Yeah.
joining and Ellen Gopal, and one of the things I've been saying to the class is that people will support you for different reasons. Not necessarily because you have the cheapest product, but people can come because it's a family-owned business, because they're able to connect with your smile, they like your personality, they like your mission and vision, they see where you come from, and they see that you're trying, they want to support you, or they like your product, or your price is good. People come for different reasons.
True.
And many times we also have great products and services, And the people that we want to know about it, our target audience, they have no clue that we offer this, nor where to find us.
Well, that's why we are thankful for this kind of platform, Marlon. We know you have your own viewership, a large viewership, and it's I see it's as a program for entrepreneurs. I guess you have systems in place whereby these entrepreneurs can actually get in contact with the people that they're looking to get in contact with. So I thank you for this opportunity and for making it possible. Thank you for having me on your program. So I'm very much grateful for the publicity that I'm getting. Thank you.
Definitely. Pleasant good evening, Pamela Henriquez, joining us as well. So my main question of the evening, there may be other restaurants, catering services out there. Why should persons support legacy restaurant and catering service?
First of all, we provide authentic Guyanese Creole food, presented in a wholesome way, served in a wholesome, prepared in a wholesome atmosphere, and we take pride in our quality. What we give to the customer, we take pride in what goes into that box or what goes into to that pan or whatever it is we serve. We take pride in what we do. And these are family traditions that have been passed down from generation, and they're here for us to enjoy, for all to enjoy, rather. And other than that, we have our business basically gets a lot of revenue from overseas clients. You know, sometimes people are in a different country and they're planning a trip to Guyana. And they would find out who has the best this, or where can I get this, or where can I, and you'll find that a lot of persons would recommend us, right? Only Sunday we did a birthday, 80th birthday celebration. I mean, the individual who celebrated, God bless her soul. I mean, she's so nice. An overseas Guyanese who returned, and we are happy for that. We actually cause people to actually want to come back and have their celebration here just because they heard about the kind of food and the service that we had or we have at Legacy. Why am I saying this? We had to cater for this event. This is a Guyanese who has not been in Guyana since 1977. She migrated. And, the word got out there that, Legacy is doing great stuff. So this lady would have planned around that whole idea that she can have our entire, all the food for her birthday that she likes from Legacy.
Wow.
Right? The event was not kept at the restaurant. It's kept at another location, bigger location, but she took all the food from Legacy.
Lovely.
And she brought in 30 of our close friends and family from the United States to celebrate with her. And it was amazing when she came to meet me. She came at the restaurant to meet me. And she said, I'm bringing in 30 people to celebrate with me. All of them, most of them have never come to Guyana before, but they heard about the food and they want to come to try it. And she said, but I'm catering for 50. So I said, so we're going to get, I don't know 20 Guyanese. So this is a person who doesn't know 20 Guyanese. She brought in 30 persons from overseas just to enjoy our cuisine and what we have to offer as authentic Guyanese food. So
Interesting.
that's one of the reasons why persons can feel comfortable booking with us, because I mean the reviews that we have after we do events for people is always good.
Yeah, y'all do good food. Y'all know y'all stuff over there at Legacy.
Thank
I
you.
enjoy it.
Thank you.
Every time I'm in the area, I would stop
I know.
by.
Thank you. You would even
Really
message
nice.
me.
Even after they close, I am messaging asking about food and starving.
Thank you.
But it's good what you guys are doing. Keep it up. Keep up the good work.
Thank you very much, Ruth.
And thank you for offering quality service so that people can interact with and people can feel a sense that, yes, Guyana is really coming to come and we're not lost. There are still businesses in Guyana who delight in offering exceptional service to customers, going above and beyond to be able to meet their needs.
Yes, we try.
And thriving. So, remind us once again how to contact your business.
Well, you can contact us. We have our Facebook page. That is legacyrestaurant.com. We also have a WhatsApp number. Our WhatsApp number is 644-1115, or you can contact the restaurant at the location on Durban Street. That's 226-4097. You can call to place your order on that number, or you can WhatsApp. Yeah, so you can find us on Facebook, WhatsApp. We're our Twitter account. Well, we have a Twitter account, but it's not quite up and running as yet, and also TikTok, but that's also a work in progress.
Awesome. I'm happy to hear that it's a work in progress. So
Yeah.
you're putting it aside,
No.
but you're going to utilize all the means to be able to reach people. This is the opportunity to give a special shout out to any of your loyal supporters, family, friends.
Well, first of all, shout out to you.
Thank you.
Shout out to you, but there are some, what I must say, loyal customers, and then there's some extra loyal customers. I want to say shout out to one of my extra special customer, Michelle Semple. I think she would have
I'm
come in.
seeing her, yes.
That's my extra special customer, one of them, and it's quite special, the kind of what you talk about relationship that people form in business that can actually make you succeed in business. And this is one of those relationship, a customer that brings other customer to the restaurant, and then mind you, Michelle lives in Borbees.
Okay.
And she brings people to the restaurant quite often, regularly. And every week she calls people to come to the restaurant, sometimes 2, 3, 4 times a week. So, you have these extra special customers, shout out to other Marlon too, from 90, is it 93 or 92 FM? So, other than these individuals, there are some organizations that support us, government as well as non-governmental organizations, but for reasons you don't want to mention, but we have quite loyal customers, and we are thankful for all of our customers.
No problem. Thank you very much.
Yeah,
and it has been a pleasure having you and interacting with you
Thank you.
here on Entrepreneurship in Focus. Sometime maybe we'll have pictures or visit your restaurant to see what is going on there. And so persons can
We will
also
love
see.
that.
So thank you very much. And I also want to shout out those persons who were tuning in from YouTube, Margaret and Chris, joining from New York, and several other persons. It's a pleasure to have you guys. Thank you for tuning in to Entrepreneurship in Focus. I'm your host, Marlon Joseph, and I'm signing out. I look forward to interact with you next week, Tuesday evening, same time, same place, so that we can help to grow each other's iron sharpens iron, and most definitely, together we win. Do take care.